So hi everyone, it's Amanda. I hope you're well and dry this afternoon. If we have a community of practice that is happening simultaneously, or they should be wrapping up. If you can hear me, I would love just to kind of have a verification. If you would, someone would just raise their hand in the crowd, that would be super fantastic. Thank you, Julia and Tina. Awesome. And we're going to wait for our friends in the other webinar to kind of wrap up, and then we will get started in just a few minutes. Thanks again, everyone. So I just got some feedback from Lizzie. They are wrapping up and we're seeing our participants kind of jump. So we'll get started and give our friends a few more minutes to join us. Thanks for your patience. All right, the participant box kind of slowed down, and I think that we'll just get started. And I don't really know how many folks will be able to join us today. So, all right, I'm really grateful for those who were able to join. If we are recording today's webinar for those who were unable to join, and we will email out the recording link as well. All right, we are going to jump right in. And so just have some basic quick reminders and updates that are going on in the world of early childhood. And of course, some budget reminders. Hopefully everyone is wrapping that up. We have some guest speakers today from Family Engagement Lab, and many of you may already know Hannah Lee. And then we will round up with some upcoming events and then some final due dates. All right, I believe Leslie Dole is going to talk to us about a new gold standard.
Hi, everyone. So I know that some of you may have been getting some updates from Teaching Strategies. They are currently adding enhancements to Teaching Strategies Gold just to make it a little bit easier to use, more user-friendly, better informative assessment experience. So it's going to be a much more streamlined process, and they have available online these quick hit videos that talk about all of the updates that they're going through, such as how to add documentation, how to view documentation, and a little bit at a glance. They also have a lot of webinars coming up that will be talking about the updates that are going on with Gold. And I know from previous webinars that we've talked about, we are also working on some updates on our end as well for merging both our OSEP license and our current Gold license into a single license. So all of this is kind of happening at the same time, and we will be hosting LDOE versions of these new Gold updates later this summer. But I'm very excited for some of these changes.
Oh, that's so good to hear that we're going to be providing recaps of these webinars, because sometimes we get these emails and we kind of push them to the side. And teaching, I'm even, guilty of this for Teaching Strategies, because they'll send us these emails. So please make sure that you read these emails, and then don't worry that we were going to also provide a recap this summer. So, but your summer can get busy.
These emails, these recordings are available online, and then we'll have more tailored webinars available that talk about what we're doing on our side. So right now, what we're working on with Teaching Strategies is cleaning up all of the current classrooms in Gold, and we will talk about that later. But we're building out program level, site level, classroom level, and user level information, and building it out right now. And then we will share everything once we've got the build out later this summer. But in the meantime, if you wanted just to share with your teachers some of the updates that are happening within the Gold application, you can do that.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
Amy Poirier has some professional development and classroom support information and survey to share with us.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to share an opportunity. The department is going to be launching a series of surveys focused on early childhood professional development and classroom supports. We are aware that in addition to the services that our child care resource and referrals are providing, that many networks are also providing these supports. So we're just working to get a clear picture on all the great things that you are doing for your providers and what classroom supports are actually looking like within the field. So these surveys will provide us with initial information about the amount and types of professional development and classroom supports that are being provided within your networks. And it'll be, as I said, a series of surveys. So this initial survey will help us identify which agencies are providing these services and supports, and is designed to give us some high level information about the types of professional development services and supports that are out there, who or which provider types are receiving these, how you're selecting those, and who's kind of managing those at the network level if they're being provided. So I know we have a lot packed in today's session, so we will send this link to the survey out to you and ask that you complete that as soon as possible. And then we'll utilize the information to more specifically target those of you who are providing those services just to learn a little bit more. But if you get into that survey, or if after that survey you have any questions, feel free to just shoot me an email or give me a call. And I appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. This survey is going to really be great and beneficial to find out what infrastructures are in place about professional development and classroom support. So completing these surveys is vital for us to learn about how best to support you guys in the field. So thanks again for your support here. Leslie, do you would you want to speak to a little bit about this teacher leader advisor real quick so that we can
Sure, this is just a reminder.
That's a
This is
great
also
opportunity.
included in the last weekly webinar, and also with our provider webinar, and then in the newsletter as well. So we've got 2021, 2022 teacher leader advisors. So these are teachers currently in the field, currently working in early childhood classrooms that can either help support the LGOE through the IMR process. That's our instructional material review, looking at tier 1 curriculum and deciding whether, looking at applications to curriculum, deciding whether or not they meet the standards of becoming a tier 1 curriculum, and then also helping us create and develop any kind of guidance documents to support early childhood sites.
It's such a great opportunity. I really hope everyone participates and sends us and encourages their teacher leaders to apply.
Yeah, you will receive compensation for it. So that's just, and it won't interrupt any of the school day. It's work that's done outside of hours. So great opportunity.
Michael Bach, do you want to talk about the teacher leader survey or the lead teacher survey?
Yes, I do. Thanks so much, Amanda. I'm assuming you can hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Good afternoon, y'all. It feels really weird today to dive into a slide without first just saying a huge thanks for all of your work in the past semester and over this entire year with class observations. I think that it obviously, we've said many times just how incredibly in awe we are at the department of the resourcefulness and the tenacity and the grit and the persistence and the creativity that lead agencies across the state have exhibited in making sure that we're able to continue to focus on quality this year. And I really do just want to say a huge thanks there. I think it goes without saying that a lot of our ability to navigate the pandemic has been influenced with significantly by the feedback we've received. And I think in that vein, we're interested in continuing to gather feedback throughout this summer as we prep for next year, and have released a lead teacher survey at the end of last week that solicits feedback from lead teachers across the state that can help inform our planning for the upcoming year. This email was sent to lead teachers directly, and I think many of you should have all received an email that was similar to the one that was sent to lead teachers. If you did not, or you have more questions, feel free to shoot me an email at the address at the bottom of the screen there. But this survey will be open until May 31st, and I think that any effort that y'all can make to take advantage of opportunities you already have in terms of newsletters or webinars or whatever however you typically communicate with lead teachers, if you can put a plug in for that, I think that the more responses that we get here, the better position we'll be to plan for the upcoming year.
Okay, so I think that Bach is so very complimentary. We should just start the weekly webinar with him. He's very complimentary, and we should all be reminded about how much work you guys do out in the field. Thank you, Michael.
For sure.
It seems like we're just going to be doing a lot of talking about surveys, but this is really where we get a lot of information, and that drives our work. Just like you guys get information from your field, we get it directly from you guys. So this is the family website survey. As we are gathering data about what's going to be best to serve families on a website, we're learning from families to make sure this website is best fit to serve families, right? So we're asking you guys to share this URL as well as the QR code and or this flyer on your social media, so that as many families as possible can provide this information. Also, what the last question on this website survey is about asking for families to participate in a work group. So again, we're just really hopeful and excited about family feedback to help drive the website. All right, just real quick budget reminders. Just to make sure that everyone is making their final changes, submitting any final amendments, really by the 21st, by the end of this week. If you have any amendments, I would send them in no later than this Friday. That process is getting really, really bogged down right now with the fiscal year ending and so much happening. So I encourage you to not really submit anything after this this Friday. So if you have an amendment or thinking about submitting one, I wouldn't submit it any later than this Friday. Also, we have about 51% of the state funds have been spent and about 63 of CCDF funds spent. So please continue submitting reimbursements and taking care of your budgets. There are only 6 weeks until June 30th. So just putting those out there for you guys. I know it's a lot to do at the end of the fiscal year. All right, so real quick, I would like to just introduce someone. Ms. Hannah Lee from the Family Engagement Lab is here to speak to us a little bit about what their program is and their partnerships that they've had here with us at LDOE. The Family Engagement Lab has had a very long-standing relationship and partnership with LDOE, and they have partnered with multiple teams within LDOE. So I'm really excited to share this opportunity with you so you can kind of learn a little bit more about them. So I'm going to pass the baton to Hannah. And Hannah, I'm going to also see if I can try to let you have your slides. You can go ahead, Hannah.
Okay, awesome. Oh, it looks like I don't have access.
I think I just gave it to you.
Okay. Can you see my screen okay, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, great. And I'm actually joined by my colleagues, Haley Kuhn and Will Eaton. And Haley is also going to join me in presenting some of our work and about our organization today. And actually, Haley's going to start us off.
Yeah, thank you, Hannah. So my name is Haley Kuhn. I'm the head of partnerships at Family Engagement Lab. And Will Eaton, who's joined us, is an educational technology and sales consultant who works closely with our Louisiana partners. Family Engagement Lab is a national nonprofit, and we catalyze equitable family engagement and student learning by bridging what's happening in the classroom and the curriculum with at-home learning. Our work is really focused on building partnerships between teachers and historically underserved families. And we do that through an ongoing communication and collaboration that's specific to curriculum and learning. We've been doing this, as Amanda indicated, in Louisiana since 2017. Overall, we support more than 30,000 students. Nearly 3/4 of those are from socioeconomically disadvantaged families. 1/3 are non-native English speakers, and 2/3 identify as persons of color. We have a signature tool called Fast Talk, and Fast Talk sends out text messages that are curriculum aligned. And Hannah's going to share that with you in just a bit, but just more about us. I mean, we work with some really terrific parish school systems, as well as the LDOE and other districts throughout the United States. We work in Los Angeles Unified and Oakland Unified in California. We have a pilot with Baltimore City Public Schools. And again, we've been privileged to work with so many parish systems in Louisiana as well as the LDOE. Our partnerships include in Louisiana a SPDIG grant for grades 3 through 5. And as you can see on the slide, we've worked with Calcasieu, East Baton Rouge, Jefferson, Point Coupee, and Sabine. With Amanda and Britt's support, we've been working through the early ID in the Lighthouse pilot in Lincoln and DeSoto parishes. And then we also have a phase 2 of the early ID that we're working with this year around developmental milestones with Allen, Morehouse Parish Children's Coalition, and Tangipahoa Parish. Just to zip back onto the left of the slide, you'll see that we, in our work throughout the United States, we have been recognized by leaders in our industry for our work and the efficacy and effectiveness of what we do with Fast Talk. And that includes Harvard, JPAL, which is part of MIT, Greater Good Science Center at University of California, Berkeley. So I'm going to turn it over to Hannah and let her share more about the special work we do.
Great. So as Haley mentioned, we do have a signature tool. It's a family engagement tool that we call Fast Talk, or Families and Schools Talk. So here are just some of Fast Talk's features. So as Haley mentioned, we used text message, SMS text messaging to keep families engaged in weekly curriculum aligned at-home learning support to really prompt that two-way communication between families and teachers. And Fast Talk, it's delivered just through SMS text message. So it's really easy and accessible for families because there's no computer or reliable Wi-Fi needed, and there's no app to download for parents at all and for teachers. So it's really easy and accessible for both teachers and for families. And the goal of Fast Talk is really to bring awareness to parents and caregivers about what their child is learning so that they can support at home and really reinforce what is being instructed in the classroom. So it takes the guesswork out by giving families activity ideas and tips and sentence stems or game-like ideas to really build upon knowledge that the children are learning in school through fun conversations within the home. And it's easy for teachers to implement because the messages are completely pre-scheduled and automatically sent out based on curriculum learning plans. And although we typically support curriculum, literacy or ELA curriculum as part of the LDOE partnership, we also developed content in support of the CDC's Learn the Signs Act Early resources for 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds in preschool. With text messages around age-specific developmental milestones. So that's really been exciting to see how parents can, get a better handle on things that their skills that their child should be able to do and be able to further support at home. We also have support for over 100 languages. So Fast Talk really does break down the language barriers that may be experienced between teachers and families with two-way translated messaging as well to enhance communication. And research on Fast Talk's impact shows that it does have the greatest impact for students who are furthest behind their peers, which I'll share more about in a bit. And the messages, like I said, they're sent out pre-scheduled in an automated way 2 to 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays typically. And you can see on the right-hand side just a sample week of messages. And you'll see that the messages are tagged by the teacher's name, whatever the teacher goes by, because we want this to be a tool for teachers to prompt regular conversations with the families and engage their families in meaningful ways in an easy way. And so, for example, on Mondays, it may say something like, from Miss Lamb, rhyming helps children learn about the sounds and patterns within words. Practice at home by naming rhyming words together. For example, fun, sun, and run. Then on Wednesdays, it usually continues that activity or provides additional prompts like from Miss Lamb, at home or on a walk, ask, do hat and cat rhyme? What about hat and car? And your help at home makes a big difference. And then on Fridays, there's an automated poll question that's sent out to families to get quick feedback, whether or not they completed the activity, and any poll responses are sent back to the teachers in an emailed report to monitor parent engagement in a really quick and easy way. So again, these are text messages. We have a wonderful content team who develops thousands of academic and SEL activity ideas. And we do support multiple curricula, including Frog Street, EL Education, CKLA, ELA guidebooks, as well as the developmental milestones for pre-K that we developed in partnership with LDOB. And Fast Talk increases learning aids engagement and equity. So through multiple studies, Fast Talk has shown to improve outcomes of students who are furthest behind their peers. We had an evaluation where among kindergarten students, Fast Talk was found to increase literacy achievement by half a month to a month in most cases, but more importantly, the students, when their home language differed from their teacher, they saw significant acceleration in their performance. Of 1.5 to nearly 3 months ahead of their peers and not using Fast Talk. And in addition, Fast Talk helped among kindergartners who knew less than 50% of their letter sounds at the beginning of the year. The Fast Talk students were 4 times more likely to reach their mid-year benchmarks compared to their non-Fast Talk peers. It was a matched comparison, so they were very similar non-Fast Talk kindergarten students. And in Louisiana, we have an evaluation where we're seeing very similar results in older grades as well, in older elementary grades. So in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, we did a research partnership with Redesign Schools, and Fast Talk showed accelerated student learning across elementary grades in grades 3 through 5, with the greatest benefits achieved for the students who were, again, furthest behind. So the Fast Talk students were 2.6 times ahead of their non-Fast Talk peers after a short 8-week pilot of receiving of their families receiving the weekly tips on their, and they were 2.6 times ahead on their iSteep literacy assessments. We're also very grateful to have positive feedback from both parents and teachers. And this is very recent survey data that we sent out a voluntary survey at the end of this school year. And this is preschool families. And 95% of the families that were surveyed said that they believe that the Fast Talk text messages are benefiting their child's learning. And again, 95% wanted to receive the Fast Talk messages again from their child's teacher in the next year. And one parent said they were just great reminders for specific ways to help with my child's learning. And teachers are also seeing the value of Fast Talk's ability to extend learning into the home. And one teacher said, it helps keeps parents informed about what we are learning at school and provides extra practice for students at home. So as you can see, just simple, accessible learning focused tips are a great way to improve academic outcomes and build parent and caregiver confidence to be able to support their students at home. I'm going to turn it over to Haley for the next slide.
All right, this is where the rubber meets the road. We're going to talk about Fast Talk pricing. There are 2 components. One is a Fast Talk license, and that's a per student annual fee. You can see what that student enrollment band looks like on the left and the price on the right. We also have annual services that are used with Fast Talk. It includes services like Hannah and her incredible team of support and making sure that teachers are really comfortable, that the implementation's working. We also have an onboarding that includes things like outreach to parents and again, translated documents that help them to understand what this tool is and how it can support them. We also have that sometimes challenging aspect of provisioning data and rostering that data from the SIS. We also have ongoing just kind of information and training throughout the year. So those annual services are also broken down by the number of students and by enrollment band. I also will mention that we have professional development that is specific to building authentic and equitable family engagement. And so that is a workshop format that we've done for the state of Louisiana and LDOE. And we offer it to our partner districts and parish school systems as well. And then we would love to connect with you. You can email Hannah at the email address that's here. We have a lot of information on our website as well as resources, our Twitter and Facebook handles. Please feel free to follow us and to message us. We also have a family engagement learning series newsletter that you can sign up for on our website. And if you'd like to know more about these specific projects that we've done with LDOE, you can come and see me next week at the resource fair. And that completes our presentation of Family Engagement Lab and Fast Talk. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Haley. That was very helpful today. Okay, so again, their information will be in this presentation slide, and we will share that out tomorrow at some point so that we can also have the recording with this information as well. So we really appreciate you guys coming in and sharing what Fast Talk can do for their early childhood network. All right, so Karen, do you want to talk about the ARPA funding survey?
Yes, thank you, Amanda. Just a reminder that we do have a survey out in the field regarding our plans to spend the American Rescue Plan Act funds that the state is going to receive. Thank you so much to those of you who have already completed that survey. We're getting a great response rate, but we ask that if you haven't completed it, you do so this week. And we also ask that you share it with as many families, teachers, administrators, and other community stakeholders as possible. It is going to close this Friday, so please help us get the word out in the next couple of days.
Right, thank you. Just a reminder about we're still registering for the virtual series for Teacher Leader Summit. The registration process for in-person has already closed, but you still can register for the virtual series until the sellout happens, and that could happen fast. So we do encourage you to go ahead and do that. Don't miss out. All right, and with 1 minute left here, just a few dates and reminders. The Child Care Development Fund State Plan, that public hearing is on the 19th. So this is the CCDF state plan, the 3-year plan. We're having a public hearing on May 19th. If you want to attend, you can email myself or Amy Poirier. We can get you that webinar and information there, or it's in the newsletter that just went out on the 13th. The ARPA funding priorities survey that Karen just mentioned is due on the 21st. Teacher Leader Summit in person is next week, and we're so excited to see everyone in their happy, shining smiles next week. Also, the Community Supply Building and Access Expansion application, that submission is due May 26th. The Community Recovery Grant application, that submission is due May 26th. So on May 26th, next week, those 2 applications are due. And then TS Gold at Checkpoint, May 31st, which I'm sure no one forgot about that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Amanda, real quick.
Yeah.
There's also, Penny had asked in the chat if there's a way to access that family engagement website flyer. I did drop the link to the survey, but I think she's looking to see if she can post the flyer on their website.
Yeah, I started a response to that, Penny. I don't have a link for that flyer, but I'm going to go ahead and get a link for that, and then I will send that out as well. So you should be able to then post that link on your website. Are there any office hours for community supply building and access expansion? That has not come across our minds yet, Lydia, but that sounds like it could be a possibility. Amy Poirier, do you have any thoughts there?
I know originally, I think we were gonna try to do something during teacher leader, but it sounds like not everybody who's interested can make it. So we will be working on looking at some additional opportunities. I know the timeline's a little tight, but welcome to contact me, Lydia, to set up some time to talk.
I know that's a big lift, and figuring out support for that is going to is definitely on our mind. So we want to figure out something there for sure. Any other questions before we dismiss for today? All right, thanks guys for everything. And I really should get Michael Bach to send a one of his fancy thank yous for all the work you do, because they're amazing. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great afternoon and can't wait to see you next week at Teacher Leaders Summit. All right, bye everyone.